Ooh, we wanted to watch Chud to Chad, right? Should we hit this shit, boys?
I'm really happy.
I want to watch. Yeah.
Yo.
Dude, look at him beam! Look at my beautiful baby boy! Look at that! Taking agency over his own life and health, realizing that he holds all of the requisite fucking power to become what he wants to become. Isn't that sweet?
Yo.
Is this your firstborn? No, he's just the first one to not disappoint me.
Oh, welcome to episode 2 of Chud to Chad. I uploaded episode 1 last night, and the reception has been fantastic. So thank you so much for all
because
the
you want to know
messages.
what? It's so like earnest and sweet. It's such a like meaningful reflection of Zoil. You know what I mean? Like he's just like being like legitimately caring and vulnerable. I don't know, man. I think it's so sweet.
It's been really difficult putting myself out there, as I said, but I just really appreciate all the lovely, kind messages. You guys are really amazing and really nice. If you're here for episode 2, I hope you followed along. I hope you subscribed. Hope you followed. If you haven't, make sure you do that.
Oh,
Today, I am working out with...
Guys, make sure you subscribe to his channel, by the way, okay? He's been nothing but a fucking winner. Chud to Chad on YouTube, guys. Can I have a mod drop that link in chat here? Maybe I'll just do it real quick. It's the video.
And I'm going to be talking to him about how my diet's been going. I'm going to be telling him about some of the stuff I've been eating. So that will be very interesting.
He's doing such a great job, man.
And then maybe we'll come back and make some food. I haven't eaten anything yet, so I'm going to go live, maybe make something.
Well, I think he's really taking the sort of like onus. I think that he's like bearing the mantle of responsibility for influencing those in similar positions because he is such a relatable, caring, and like earnest sort of representative of individuals who have felt like kind of ensnared in certain lifestyle habits, you know? And so for him to like become such a prescient example of how to evoke change in your life, I think is a very important mission and something he takes very seriously.
On stream and then head out to the gym with Wake. Chicken. This is like my bread and butter. I always have this available in my fridge.
Yeah,
so
baby.
I'm not, like, eating.
I want to teach him some more recipes and stuff, just so he doesn't get too sick of his food.
So I'll just chuck the tenderloins in this bowl. I'm pretty generous with a seasoning. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
I'm gonna make him shorter though. His life will be a lot easier when he's down to an easy 7 feet. Look, man. Push comes to shove. We're just going to have a lot of people sit on him.
It tastes good for me.
Eats 1,800 calories. No way he loses 11 pounds in a week. Sorry, Wake. I just don't believe it. If he eats... Wait, are you saying that he needs to be eating more? I'm sorry. I'm lost on that. Are you saying that, like, 1,800... Wait, so you think he's lying about the weight he's losing? Like, for no reason? I don't know, man. I'm not telling him to eat 1,800 calories, by the way. My entire like objective with Zoil has been to get him to start defaulting to whole foods, and essentially like I want him to default to whole food options that he has learned to cook himself to taste, as opposed to relying on, let's say, prepackaged or otherwise hyper palatable, calorically dense foods. Right. So as long as he is eating, you know, vegetables, good starches, proteins, fruits, etc. I don't really care how many calories he eats right now. I'm just trying to get him to slowly transition to foods that I believe are going to be more difficult to eat enough of to be fat with. Do you know what I mean? If he's consuming foods that are selected for their, let's say like fiber and protein content and thus, you know, amounting to greater satiety, I think that he will ultimately default to a caloric intake that is significantly lower than that which he can maintain weight at. That's it. If he's losing so much weight, one, he's probably shedding a bit of water weight because he's not going to be as inflamed. He's not going to be in constant gastric distress due to foods that his body doesn't tolerate well. But moreover, he could really lose that much weight. I mean, it isn't impossible to suggest that, let's say, in some kind of fantasy land, Zoil is actually consuming. So I think I did the math, and it was like in 8 days or something, he lost about 11 pounds. And I think that it put him somewhere at like a couple thousand calorie deficit in total because, you know, you'd have to lose about 3,500 calories a pound, right? Because that's what's representative. So 3,500 calories of energy had to come from that, which means he was probably eating like a couple thousand calories under his maintenance, which is significant, right? Not something I necessarily advise either, but it is fascinating to me to see him kind of take that on. I think that it'll slow down, obviously, and it's not something that I would advise either. I typically go with a less steep deficit, especially for those who are used to tracking. But right now, I'm just saying, like, eat until you're full. Don't overeat, don't undereat. Just like eat until you're full, but eat these foods. And he's responding well.
So I'm pretty heavy-handed with the seasoning. I'm not gonna lie, like
Salt's probably fine.
Much onions, Maggi, like 1.5 of those, and then I mix.
Are there options to baby carrots? I mean, anything, 100%. Like, what fibers of vegetables do you enjoy eating, or vegetables at all?
Shit up. I guess over all of them. I like treat myself to a few things. I got a Ninja Creamy.
Yeah.
I'll stand one of these.
I love the creamy. It's great.
Oh fuck.
Is he doing any kind of fast? No, I think that fasting just tends to lend itself to a lot of binge behavior, and I'm very adamantly opposed to it. I think that for those who have experience with it and know that they can do it well and safely, you know, it's your prerogative. I don't think it's ideal, but I think, you know, whatever you can stick to is fine. I just don't know anyone who's ever fasted long term without it slowly sort of devolving into, I'm going to wait and eat fucking like all of this like dog shit food at the very end of my day and starve myself through critical windows and then rubber band into a binge because I've lost control of myself.
I make this protein ice cream with
Too much salt will make him retain water weight? No. Too much salt. Inconsistent amounts of salt with inconsistent hydration levels will cause water retention. But a consistent amount of salt with a consistent water intake, regardless of volume, will probably amount to, sort of homeostasis.
This cosmic brownie protein powder, and like a whole pint of this is only like 300 calories and like 40 grams of protein, I think. I'll be eating that shit and I'll get like halfway through and I'm like, oh fuck, this protein's filling me up. I'm already full. And I only end up eating like half a time. So every day I've been consistently under 2K calories, which is insane to me. I don't know how that's possible because it feels like I eat, bro. But then I look back at my fitness pal and I've been tracking everything, and it's consistently under 2K.
Yeah, I haven't given Zoil any objective. I said that upper end of what I think you should be eating is like probably like 2,800 to 3,000 calories. I think that if you're going much more, it'd be pretty tough. Wait, stop influencing the guy's bad eating habits because you are trying to justify being a slob yourself. Wait, me? Sorry, how am I? What? Wait, can you break that one down for me? I'd like to hear more about that position.
Just insane.
What's your take on Jason's event? I thought it was dog shit. Julie even said it was ass. I think that it was a dumb, fun fucking event with his friends. It was incredibly unprofessional. It was just a dumb fucking sparring event. Nothing else to it. Just a goober. Dumb goober event with a bunch of friends punching each other in the face. It wasn't meant to be professional. It wasn't meant to be particularly well curated. It was meant to be a dumb sparring exhibition with, you know, people that are invested in the content. That's it.
I usually just do this, I'll be honest. I just chuck it in and it all cooks. Like, it actually all cooks fairly evenly. I just chuck this down and it gets done. 11 minutes, bro. This lasts like a couple days of just chicken. So 222 grams of chicken. Actually, 180. I'm not like, cool. 180. And then I'll chuck this in the pan. All right, and I chuck 3 eggs in this bit.
1,200 is not enough? Well, I mean, 1,200 calories is probably a bit little. Like, I would say that for a lot of people, 1,200 calories wouldn't be a sufficient range for like someone who isn't very petite to get enough proteins and fats in to maintain, let's say, like muscle sparing levels of intake of protein and sufficient fat intake for hormone health. It could be very difficult. I would never want to take someone much below 1,500 calories unless they were very, very, very small, because I think that generally speaking, it's just hard to get enough actual like nutrients in, like macronutrients in for health and fitness.
2, 3. Okay, there's no eggshell in there, just eggshell in my hand. And then I personally just say, fuck it.
Yeah, you have to simplify your meals. Variety is in a lot of ways the enemy of adherence because it just gets difficult to track everything. Cooking you're more likely to succumb to ordering, etc. if you have too many options, you know, or rather too many SKUs, too many things that you could cook. Having a consistent routine is, to me, infinitely more helpful.
Start scrambling the bitch. That is pretty much it. But I really think he's cooking gourmet, but it's prison food. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with this, bro.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, like, if you enjoy the food and it gets all the nutrients down that you want, like, the thing that I told Zoil, I don't know if I told it to him on stream, but I was talking about, like, I had this kind of, like, revelation about dieting. This is a really pretentious story, okay? So as I say it, let me go ahead and embody it. When I was somewhere in my early 20s, I'd like to say around 23, I was on a motorcycle trip, you see. And on this trip, I decided to engage in a lot of philosophical literature. Every now and then I'd do a bit of a book on tape, so to speak. And I was busy reading about the Epicureans in the premise of the dissolution of pain as being the ultimate virtue. It's to not be in pleasure, but instead to pursue the absence of pain in all ways. And I thought, what a clever way to think about dieting, is it not? That perhaps it is the pain of hunger we fear more than the pleasure of gluttony. And I started to think, maybe if I was to, in a Pavlovian way perhaps, associate the food that I consumed with the relief of hunger, I would begin to appreciate food that I otherwise once disliked. So I would eat a great deal of vegetables, no added sauces, relatively unseasoned and flavorless chicken, etc. Just to see, can I learn to love this? And the answer was yes, actually. Yeah, no, pretty much whatever you use to stave off hunger over a long enough period of time, you look forward to eating. Obviously, make your food taste good. It's more fun. Season your shit. Use low-cal sauces, please. But you can learn to love just about everything. What's your rec for daily fiber? I'm trying to shit max my shit. I think that psyllium husk is a great supplement you can get on Amazon for very, very, very cheap. That helps a lot with regularity and poo quality.
This is sustaining me and making me a
I already talked about this, but how important is carb intake for a bulking diet? Often focus on protein because of the difficulty and forget about carbs. I think that carbs are very significant for gym performance if you're trying to build muscle. And that to exist in a, what is this? This made you think of me? Thanks, bud. Means a lot.
healthy individual. So if I'm eating like a prisoner.
I think otherwise, just try to eat as many, kind of like fibrous foods as you can. I don't really measure my fiber. I just eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, and I don't have a problem with my shits. But anyways, I think that carbohydrates help fuel performance, and the better you perform during your active windows, the more likely you are to, train to the threshold of, let's say like breakdown that would cause hypertrophy or muscle building, right? So yeah, I think that they're a good thing. I think that you can learn to train without them, but I'm also creating resistant starches I don't even really recommend. Those things fuck my gut up heavy. I was farting nonstop when I was doing potatoes and then cooling them off. But some can. I'm just saying, just because it works on the internet and in certain studies doesn't mean that they're super like great for everyone. Like I was farting my ass off. I was doing it with sweet potatoes and it was kind of vicious. I was farting like a fucking, honestly, like kind of a Chad. It was insane. On going to a crazy bland diet, I don't think you should go to a crazy bland diet if that's what it's advocating, though. It was something I did as a kid just to experiment,
Hey, them motherfuckers usually come out swole. That's it. That's dinner.
So I was like 7 foot and probably around 400. So from an eating perspective, you should probably be eating like 2,500 a day paired with exercise. Yeah, but like that's kind of what I'm telling you is like, I don't tell Zoil to not eat. I say to eat until you're full. Like, eat whole foods you cook yourself till you feel full, And if you keep eating, you can keep eating, Like, I just want you to change the foods you crave because breaking the addiction that you have to hyperpalatable, calorically dense foods is going to be the most significant first step.
Or breakfast, I guess. This is probably brunch. Maybe I'll eat something after the gym, probably not. Yeah, we're just gonna wait for wake, and then we're gonna hit the weights, boys.
I still need to like understand like your body mechanically and like what hurts and what doesn't and what's comfortable and what isn't, because like you got a lot of mass, so like certain
God, when I talk about fitness, I look so autistic. There's no charisma. I like disassociate.
like movements are going to be just like intrinsically more challenging. Like a lunge, for instance, is going to be
Lunges
like,
are
intense.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, my knees are not good.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of times, like kind of like even just like a frequent, like let's say like upper lower rest, upper lower, or like 3 days full body is a really good way to get moving and like get decent frequency without overloading any joint too much, because your joints are going to be your break point. Like your muscles are probably like spry and ready to take on.
Man, this guy's making a lot of sense. Does he have a stream or a YouTube channel or any socials I could follow?
Load,
Does anyone know?
but
Bro, we're really exploring my body. That's the first time anyone's ever
we're
said
gonna
that to
explore
me.
your body. We're gonna see what kind of load it can handle. It'll be fun.
Okay, let's do
it's
it.
all wet. Anyways, I don't want to start with. I want to start with your brain as well. So how's the diet? What have you been eating?
So I've been talking about it a little bit on the stream, and
Biochemist, I have no dietary background, but my own understanding based on that and 2 years of dating a registered dietitian and nutritionist, has all lined up with what Wake has recommended regarding healthy eating and habits. Hey, thanks. That means a lot. I try to just be like, I try to give advice that I believe is sensible and like to the express benefit of the people involved without too much experimentation or like conjecture. So I focus like my approach to all of this, and I'm not like an expert. I'm just someone who's helped some friends and like had to kind of overcome my own like disordered eating. And to me, I found that so much of fitness is a matter of habit, and building a perfect habit is better than having what would be seen as a, let's say like building a habit that is something that is perfectly habitual is better than a perfectly executed habit. Does that make sense? Like, I'd rather you have some inefficiencies. I'd rather you have like maybe like a diet soda that may have some potential negative health outcome, none that we've really studied to great length. But, you know, I'd rather you have things or certain affordances that allow you to stay consistent in your habit. I would rather you take on a lesser load in terms of physical training or, you know, let's say like total cardio, if it means that you are going to be more likely to stick to something. So for me in Zoil, I'm trying to like approach this from the perspective of addiction and habit formation. It's like, okay, what are the things you truly crave? How can we fill your life, or in this instance, your diet, with things that displace that craving, right? How can we make it so that we are satisfying our hunger to whatever extent we need to satisfy it with foods that are fibrous and you know, nutrient dense, so that you slowly displace the cravings you have for other foods. And over time, you'll develop a palate for the foods you're eating, and you'll stop thinking so much about these incredibly rich or dense foods that you once craved and that were kind of like, you know, on some level, like really harming you. You know, the beautiful thing is that Zoil is so receptive to trying new things and learning how to care for himself that it's really just been nothing but a layup.
the diet's really good. Like I've been okay with eating just the same thing every day. For breakfast, I usually eat like 3 to 4 eggs, 2 tortillas, and then like 200 grams of chicken, like most days.
Okay, so if you're having 3 to 4 eggs, so you're having 4 eggs, you're having 240 grams of protein, 240 calories of eggs. 2 tortillas is going to be 140, so you're at what, 380 total calories there, and then 200 grams of chicken is going to put you at about 600. And that's
About 600 every day.
heavy. Yeah,
It's a very heavy protein diet. It gets me through.
It's super like high satiety.
Yeah.
So you have that.
No, that's a perfect breakfast, by the way. What kind of tortillas are those? They're like a carb balance. It's like a very like high fiber tortilla. I don't personally like them, but some people love that shit.
First thing, and you feel good.
I feel really good.
So you don't feel the need to fast.
No.
What I love is that it's teaching you how to think about food differently.
Yeah.
And that's the real win. This is crazy.
I'm too tall.
Oh man, they didn't even include him talking about his rigatoni hack. I think it's so good. I think that's the thing I'm most proud of, is that Zoil found a way to take food he craved, reconceptualize how to create it in terms of like what fits his diet, and like had the meal. That was the ultimate win. I've never had a win that great with a client or a friend ever. It made me so happy.
What I love is how short this makes me look.
Yeah.
She's from Tokyo. She's sweet.
I don't know how to tell them where that was.
It's okay. It's just it's WD-40.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So it would have made a great jockey. Okay, wait.
Like the horse you're looking at.
Oh, yeah.
I want to kill that horse.
Yeah, but like, think about the clip. So what we're gonna do today is, because you struggle with knee pain, one thing I like to do to like help activate the muscles surrounding the joint without putting tension on the patella tendon, because this is typically the area that...
Man, I don't want to listen to me talk too much about this shit. I hate it, actually. Well, I don't hate it. It's just like, man, I've said it 1,000 times.
You're going to aggravate that when you create what we call like knee flexion. So like, if this is extension, this is flexion. Flexion is the opposite of U2, right?
Yeah.
We're moving the joint without putting any stress on elements that hurt, essentially, right? So it's called hamstring curl, something like that, right? I just wanted to see him in this position, boys. I'm going to be real. Yeah, great. It should feel easy.
No,
right?
I don't even hate hearing myself. I'm just a broken record, man. I've said it so many times.
There's no weight. But I want you to go really slow, and I want you to really squeeze at the top.
Honestly, as I've gotten older, I've become like way more keen on my voice. I think also as I've learned to do impressions, I've kind of realized that my voice is in my control, you know? So I stopped like hating it because I just realized, it's just like a habit, you know? Like it's not like, you're not doomed to one thing. But then I stopped caring because I was like, whatever. Neither here nor there. Look at him squeeze that shit. Favorite rectus ab exercise? Like my rectus abdominis? Like, I mean, probably just, you're talking about like, what I would use to vacuum, essentially, like my interior abdominal wall. I would just do vacuum training. If that's what you're talking about, I could be incorrect, though.
A machine like this should be more modular to fit more bodies, but this is just older equipment. This is also a really big reason why people kind of avoid machine reliance, because it's just, unless you fit kind of neatly in the bell curve of normal body, in terms of length, it's really challenging. If you're super short, it's going to suck. If you're super tall, it's going to suck.
A lot of on cock push-ups, critical. The important thing about this, if there's any note, is just that a lot of machines aren't going to fit a lot of bodies. If you are very tall or very short, going to a good bodybuilding gym will probably give you a better breadth of options, you know? Like six-pack crunches, for example. For some reason, I feel like my rectus abdominis was the interior. What's the interior of it? What is that? Something abdominis. What is it? Oh, for this, I do cable crunches, typically. The rectus sheath. What's the internal? It's like an inverse muscle that you use to train your vacuums. Traverse abdominis, is that it? I don't know.
Things that I think are like very safe for his joints. And
did he get flat shoes for the gym? I advised him to, but it's not critical because he's not really bearing weight in ways that are compromising yet. I can never recommend Pilates enough, but I know it's pointless to recommend because I also ignored it until I got into it. I think that any kind of isometric movement isn't exactly ideal for building new muscle tissue, but like, you know, all forms of exercise have levels of application.
Things that don't involve him bearing a lot of his body weight. Because while body weight exercise is really good for people in certain weight ranges, it's kind of compromising for Zoil because it's going to create a lot of imbalances just based on body fat distribution. And like, if you're top heavy, for instance, doing a squat.
Bro, Strays in chat saying Wake is actually him. I'll say it again. If you're watching any streamer other than Strays, you are fucking up. I don't trust your taste. I think that your shit stinks. I think you're a fucking... I think that, honestly, I'll say this, dude, straight up, you're a hack. You don't understand art when you see it. That man is a consummate performer who every day clocks in and brings GOAT-level energy. People are saying Strays is next up, dude. They're saying it.
But even with body weight?
Strays, I don't know. I met him through Zoil. I just think he's funny as hell. He's just a goofy kid. He filmed the... Did he film the... stream when Sear and Zoil and I, yeah, he did, when we all went out to that British bakery out in the outskirts of town.
Weight can be like kind of excruciating and put him in a position of like less control than like a locked-in machine. I'd rather work on his proprioception and balance after he's lost.
Man, he really let me ramble in this edit.
Anyway, so what we do typically, I'll explain it real quick because I realize people are learning, is that I'm focusing on warming the muscle up before we add what we'd call like our working weight.
Yeah, so in short, I don't know if I want to skip through this. This is so slow. What British bakery? It was one in like Georgetown, I think. It was like way north.
And we're working weight is going to be the weight that we use for our quote-unquote working sets, which are the sets we're actually tracking and counting as we try to consider progressive overload. Progressive overload is the mechanism of muscle building. It's this idea that like I'm going to do a little bit more on one of two vectors, either weight or total repetitions, right? Than I did.
God damn, I really like become autistic.
The last time I did that movement.
Until failure.
Until I hit mechanical failure, which is a safe point of failure. It's not.
It's funny because I have nothing to add to myself because this is everything I know. So I'm just watching myself being like, okay.
Can I move the weight? It's can I move the weight perfectly?
Right.
Once you can't move the weight perfectly, the exercise is done.
Yeah, reason being, just to add to that, that like it's easy to cheat the movement, recruit, let's say like unessential muscle groups in order to help shove, lift, or kind of jerk the weight into position. But all that does is risk injury and reflect what isn't progress, right? We want to be attuned to where it is we're progressing so we know if we need to sleep or eat more.
A little slower on the descent, and then I try to explode a little bit on the way up. So I want you to focus on, while you're doing this, work on your breathing here, or out on the way up, in on the way down. So like the eccentric when you're not contracting should be you're breathing out, or you're breathing in. So opposite. So out, in. Yeah. Out, yeah, good. That also help you.
So I'd like to have a little more range of motion here, obviously, but with Zoil, because I'm not really loading it up too heavy, I just kind of want to get him familiar with the movements and learn to connect with the muscle. This isn't an ideal machine for him. We were just making do so that we weren't here for eons.
Brace your core when we start doing more advanced movements. Huge, bud. So I would go up for so you remember what I told you about knee flexion? That's kind of the determining element. So like if you go up here, you're going to get a little
He actually had really solid range of motion in this. I was very happy with it.
Or let's say like glute and ham activation and all that.
Is he dealing with much tendonitis as a new lifter? No, because he's not lifting that frequently. My goal for Zoil is to maybe get him on a 3-day-a-week split right now. I'll probably just give him like a push-pull legs, something simple, something that he can replicate. You know, he could add an additional day if he wants to here and there, but I just want him to be generally more mobile and active than he typically is, being mindful of trying to get his steps in, going out and walking, you know, staying active because it's good for his joints. It's good for his tendons. I mean, it's a great way to, you know, ensure greater longevity. People live longer where it is they walk.
Likelihood, the lower you are, the more knee flexion you get, the more quad bias there is. But what I really want to focus on is we're going to go almost low to no weight for a little bit. I want to focus
He's just such a receptive dude. I'm so happy Zoil has trusted me with this. It's like truly like one of the most exciting things I've done as like a person in a while because it's just such a valuable case study for consistent effort and receptivity.
On getting as deep as you can.
What's on the nut?
No weight. So one thing we're going to do, and you probably already know this, but let's not lock our knees all the way out. Just as good practice. You're not at risk because you're not using heavy enough weight, but I'd go just shy of locking out. Yeah. Go all the way down. I want to see how deep the legs will go. Because I'm worried not about like the position of the bar. I'm worried about the angle of your legs. So that's a
this is important too. How deep this goes isn't as significant as how you create the proper range of motion and knee flexion. Effective injury prevention for hip flexor stuff. As a kid, hip thrusts are good, but high knee marches achieve a flexion and ROM that deadlifts and hip thrusts do not. 100%, yeah. Like the idea is that you want your knee to go over your toe. That's how you ensure that you're getting proper quad activation.
Really good angle there.
Track coach moment is great.
Okay, then I like that there. So this is better knee flexion, guys. If you're like a bigger guy, this is probably better.
Like a lot of people will put their legs up as high as they can possibly go, which means that oftentimes, especially with the angle of the machine and the depth that people typically squat to, means you're doing like a quarter squat with a lot of weight, which just typically isn't all that valuable for actually getting safe activation of the muscle, or valuable activation rather, I should say. But it also is a bit compromising because you're using so much weight that in the event that something were to go wrong, it would be a lot easier to risk injury, especially to stabilizing muscle groups, ligaments, tendons, etc.
Knee flexion.
Highest glute activation, it can be, but I wouldn't use hip thrusts to activate my glutes, or I wouldn't use leg presses to activate my glutes. I think that things like deadlifts, hip thrusts, even a proper barbell squat is better than a leg press. You can use it. Like, again, everything's about how it is you identify the muscle and activate appropriately. Like, I'm someone who is I'm pretty attuned to my body. I know how to like coach myself and others into getting good activation, but I don't consider it to be a great machine for it.
flexion than I'd be able to achieve for him on any like squat-based movement, which is why it's a really good start for building strength. And so focus on really pressing, using your strength when you're at the bottom. So let it sink all the way down, sit for a second, then really press into it. Like try to move it quick. Yeah.
For women, hip thrusts are very useful, but I don't know, for men, it's incredibly useful. In fact, if you go to any major, like let's say like professional sports team weight room, they are all big fans of hip thrusts. Basketball players do them constantly. Glutes generate a lot of power and explosivity, both in sprinting and leaping. Incredibly useful.
Good. So what's just as important as like actually training the muscle is training your central.
Best for lat activation training motion, single arm high row. The best vector for lat activation for me is to go from essentially think of my arm starting here down against my side and lat, locking in at the bottom, going back up. So my elbow coming down here, that's typically where I get the best activation. Yeah. Personally, if I were to just train my lats, I think that it's better than standard vertical lat pull down. And a lot of my favorite bodybuilders and people I've worked with in the past have echoed it. But at the end of the day, it's about your anatomy and what you respond best to. I can get really good lat activation in a horizontal row, for instance. Would you and Jeff Nippert just start making out on site? No, I think that Jeff is a much more like qualified and proven person. I don't even think he probably could teach me so much. I don't really watch his videos, but I know he's just such a student. So I have a lot of respect for him.
Central nervous system. So we need.
So it's all about learning to activate the lat and connecting to the muscle and finding ways to engage it throughout movements. You can get great lat activation anywhere.
To like focus on tempo a little bit and really.
Jeff Nippert is a course seller. That's okay. One of the smartest people I know in bodybuilding, his name's John Jewett. He's a course seller, and he's really, really, really smart.
Bloating at the bottom if you want to get strong.
Typically shoulder width apart. I find narrow stance not doable at all. I think that all has to do with how much weight you're loading up. Like I can go very narrow, and I can go directly to my chest with my knees. To me, the difference comes down to how much weight I want to load up. So if you're having a difficult time with narrow stances, yeah. Jeff's a big Hassan Abi head. Oh, really? That's sick. I like when they call him Hassan Abi. Because he's Hassan Abi. Or is it Hassan? I don't know. I just always said Hassan Abi. Lat exercises are probably my favorite. Yeah, lat pumps are awesome. You just feel wide. So it's all a matter of what's most comfortable to you. For someone like Zoil, who's got a little bit of gut to get out of the way here, no, like shade to the man. I would have him always go a little bit wider to ensure that his knees can actually go to proper depth. Single arm cable rolls at my lats? Yeah, again, I think that you can hit lats with just about any back movement as long as you know how to activate it. I'm also a big proponent of using straps and then training your grip separately if you'd want to.
Good shit, King.
Can we put some weight on it?
Hell yeah, of course. Another thing, as you come down, let me watch your knees.
I just say Hassan.
You want your knees to track right over your toes. So like,
yeah,
don't.
This is a really good look at it too. His knees aren't necessarily, they never really go in. He's tracking over the toes or at least out, which is a much safer position.
Let them wobble in and all. Yeah, good. They just press directly out. That's perfect. That's funny. Let's hit the next machine. Let's try this. I want you to just face me and sit down on that bench and stand up. Take a seat and come back up. I just want to monitor your knee flexion and see how you look. And I want you to focus on it kind of looking more like a squat. You know, like knees forward, ass out a little bit, chest up. I just want to see what it looks like. We're not doing this as an exercise right now. This is just kind of a safety mechanism. Okay. Chest up. Rotate your hips back so your butt's kind of sticking backwards. Press your chest forward and your shoulders back. Yeah. Try a little bit. Is that about what we got there for mobility?
Yeah, sounds pretty hard.
Yeah, so that's to me is a really good indicator of like what exercises to avoid. Like I wouldn't be bearing any weight on his shoulders yet. I wouldn't be putting him in because I think that he's just frankly not like stable or flexible enough. It's just going to take time.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, it's good. Bad.
Well, this is why like I hate when people are like, we're going to take him, we're going to put him in barbell squats because like your body's just not.
When you guys lose the body weight, those calves are going to be OP. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Doing that.
What is this?
This is an abductor machine. So the abductor is the...
yeah, I don't even think this worked. We left that one almost immediately.
This one's good with crunches.
Yep, we're not doing it. We're not doing the machine. Fuck it. We out. Focus on, push your chest forward. Drive your scapula together. So stand up. Stand up.
Yeah, scapular retraction is really important for getting activation in a lot of upper body movements because it's a key stabilizing motion that allows for you to not like essentially be flailing as you contract the target muscle.
Pull your shoulders back for me. Yeah, down and back. So lock, what we call, it's called locking your scapula into place. Think of pushing your shoulder blades together like so. You know what I mean? So try.
Your gym is all hoist machines? I mean, that's just bad. That's just a bad gym, bro. That's a bad
really
fucking
do it like
gym.
Over exaggerated.
Holy
so
shit.
So you're going up. I just want you to go back. Push together. Like reverse hunting, essentially.
Okay.
I want you to do that for me real quick. Yeah. Good.
You know what's sad though is Hoist has historically had good equipment too. Hoist had really good brands. Their rocket shit is weird. Hoist and Cybex have had some really cool stuff actually.
Good, but less up here, more down here.
They're brands that are kind of sullied by their like later iterations, their box gym protocol shit.
Good, yes.
How much options? The only great gym's an hour and a half away. Then you work with what you got, King.
That's it. So that's the posture I want you to hold in everything you do with your back. Okay? It's going to ensure that you're not rounding and over-recruiting elsewhere. Ass out, good. And then, yeah, you're going to drive right there. Elbows go to the hips. So get a full stretch to the lat. Yeah, good, good, good. Good.
Yeah, he's so coachable. I think I hope Zoil knows that like he can get as like fit and strong as he wants to be, and I just find it so exciting because he's such like a young dude who has like so much time ahead of him to figure this out. I think that Zoil can inspire so many people. I see it as such an important like initiative.
Get a bit more of a stretch at the top if you can. It's okay if this relaxes a little bit. I just want you to lock the scapula back in when you go down. Good.
Gym deserts are a real thing, especially now. Lots of gyms are closing in my area. If you're in a real like gym desert situation, I think that a lot of high schools and stuff might have open gyms at certain times, community centers. I mean, anywhere with some free weights and dumbbells is good for sure. Bill could join the NFL or NBA. Yeah.
That's better. But once you
it
hit
opens Zoil. Oh, thanks, man. I'm just a dude, but you know, I think Zoil's just a good guy who deserves good help. And you know, if I feel like I can't give it to him anymore, I'd push him in the right direction. But right now, I think it's a good match, and he's just the shit, man.
It's gonna be okay. See, like that's pretty much a perfect rep, and that's exactly what I want to see. You're doing a really good job. That's good because we only have one more exercise after this. So you're gonna do another set, and then we're gonna hit a lat pull down, and you'll have nailed a pretty good and hard day.
King, he really pushed through, man.
Do you want to do lat pull down still?
I don't know.
Well, we're gonna do a set.
Okay.
Yep. Chest up, scapula back, elbows down to your hips.
That was a bit weird. My wrists. Do I want to have more like this?
So a good way of thinking about it is that you're
like through my chest.
So okay, I'll explain the biomechanics real quick. It might be a little annoying. Sorry, Chad. So a good way of thinking about how you're training your back is that the alignment of the humerus is going to determine.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing to teach people. Actually, I think it's really significant. I learned this from a guy named John Jewett, who I just think is such an awesome beacon of insight. He can be really dense as he's like incredibly smart and will speak in a very like academic to medical context. But he's an awesome guy to learn from.
So if you're up here and your humerus is like turned in like this and you come down, you're going to be hitting a lot more of your lat because that's the alignment of the humerus, right? It's right along the lat. The further back you go, the more you're going to be getting your upper back, right? Upper back being...
I'd like to see a non-centric gym. Yo, thank you for the 5 cam. I appreciate that. I'd like to see a non-centric gym stream that shows what you can do without a gym. Oh, like you want to see things like, let's say like what you could do at a park, etc. Like, okay, if you have like a pull-up bar and maybe some resistance bands that you buy on Amazon, what could you do? I'd be really happy to do that.
trapezius. It's not like...
Thanks, Cam. That means a lot, King.
But like you're going to be
big love to you, bro.
More of that stuff in the between your shoulder blades, between your actual, like along your collarbone, that's more of what...
Chest at all, no?
You're never going to be hitting your chest because chest is always press.
Oh, chest is press, okay.
This is the only contraction in the chest rest is when you're going out. So
I'm not big on calisthenics specifically, but like I think that for teaching people how to get started, they're great.
Contract this way.
I just think they're very limited in terms of overall muscle growth. You can get really good at calisthenics, but you're not going to build your muscle past a certain point because you can't really overload much more without like a tons of repetitions. Which at that point, it's probably more of a risk to your like cartilage and your like ligaments, connective tissue, etc., than it is anything else.
Okay to lean a little bit back.
Isn't the term connective tissue so like, ugh? Yeah, it's the stuff that connects your fucking meat to your bone and like it's fucking gross.
Yeah. Good. Good. Huh?
Is that good?
Fuck yeah, it is. Good shit, King. Is that the biggest stretch?
So people just want to get fit, not to make large aesthetic muscles? Yeah, but like you're much better off getting fit with a system that you can overload progressively and then you are like doing some pull-ups and push-ups. I mean, you can. I'm just saying that like it's all about your goals. My objective for a lot of people is like I like the gym. I think it's fun to train in. I think it's easier to get a sense of progress, so I like to teach that. I also like the nerdiness of it, the biomechanics of like, you know, like targeting a muscle.
That you can get before it. Let the weight rest. Just oh god, see that's so not enough.
Well, if I was
Why Mavs over Spurs for you? Isn't San Antonio much closer? Well, yes, but San Antonio was a really successful franchise through my youth, and I just don't really like joining winners. And then two, I found that like the franchise doesn't have a lot of like soul. Like you could go, it's just like black, gray, white. That's it. You know, Spurs. I never really felt moved by it aesthetically. I don't really love the aesthetic of the Mavs, mind you. But the reason I became a Mavs fan was because I have a friend who has season tickets, and he would just take me to games back in like 2017, 2018, 2019. How can you hate on Timmy Duncan like that? The Fiesta colors are cool when they use them, but that's like once a fucking fortnight. It's once a fucking like 8 seasons, you know? If they built their branding around Fiesta colors, I'd probably be a Spurs fan, but they didn't, you know?
to lean back.
If you're to lean back, you get more stretch. Yeah, I would say
Charles Barkley gave the Spurs an identity. Them big old women.
that just for the sake of actually getting a full range of motion, we lean back a bit. You're
Fake Austinite? No, that's bullshit. You're not a fake Austinite if you're not a Spurs fan. Austin is free agent territory, all right?
still getting enough active.
Being closer to San Antonio doesn't mean that you're a Spurs fan. Not about proximity. You don't just get recruited, you know?
Lat. Yeah, that's perfect. Good.
Oh, no. I do not hate the big old women in San Antonio.
Perfect. Slow. Awesome.
Wasn't this the Austin Spurs, their farm team? It's crazy saying Austin is Rockets territory. Or, I mean, like, look, the reality is that people are able to choose for themselves. The only thing you can't be in Austin is, I don't know, someone who doesn't like the Longhorns. The only thing you can't be in Austin is someone who isn't willing to shill crypto, okay? Can't be a fucking lib anymore. If the Spurs and fans lock in with Euro-style cheers like they've been starting to do, small section would be super fun to root for. Yeah, I just don't like the brand identity of the Spurs. I think that they are historically I just don't find it very pretty. The only reason I was a Mavs fan is because I was getting free trips and tickets to games. And that turned me into a fan, and now that's what I watch. You know, it sucks. That's what it is.
Good workout.
This is great. We're going to do one more set. Good.
Good breathing, Zoe. Raptors fan, goated team? No, they aren't. What do you mean? You did get a borrowed championship from that Kawhi season, and I'll say it was fun, but no team has done a greater disservice to their city than fucking Toronto. Reason being, they took what was generationally incredible branding, like truly like league of its own branding in their first 2 seasons, and then just slowly neutered it by taking out all of the character until now you're just a fucking weird copy paste of like the Rockets and the fucking Blazers. It's just red, black, and white nothingness. Pacers fans, hey man, it's okay. You can move someday, bud.
Oh my god. That felt good.
We'll take it. I can push you a little further there, but I think we're good there. I think that this is, I want to see how your body responds.
Good workout.
Crushed.
Thank you, mate.
Of course.
Hey,
He did
what's up,
so
guys?
well.
Just filming a little entry. The gym was fantastic with Wake. Even then, just the initial talk before we started working out really helped out with my mental and where I'm at with the whole dieting stuff, which is fantastic. After the gym, I came home, I ate a whole pint of that ice cream.
Oh, yeah. You know what I would love to see? Everyone who thinks they struggle with dieting to purchase and utilize the Ninja Creamy, because it is insane. Also, Zoya looks like he is in a fucking Mickey Mouse house. This man shooting from eye level is comedy.
It was fantastic. This chocolate one, to be specific. Right now, there is a cold front or some sort of cold storm that's about to...
Should I give him my hard-earned money on Seattle or New England? Neither. You should bet yes on whether or not the... You know what? This is what I think you should do. Call sheet, invest in the likelihood of Ian McKellen being in the Epstein files.
Texas, and I guess the southern part of the US. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't researched it that much, but my roommates seem to be pretty worried about it.
I get sued? No, he's not.
Everyone in...
I don't think they had the gays over. No, they had Spacey, but it doesn't seem very gay inclusive. It seemed like kind of a straight man thing. I think it's because gay men typically don't need to go to a weird fucking cabal island to have sex. They just need to download Grindr and find the dude who's literally 38 feet from them who's saying free head now, you know? Like, head, no strings attached. Like, gay men aren't struggling to get pussy like apparently desperate, socially stunted billionaires.
Around my area has bought out like all the food in all the stores, which has left me with very little...
You know where you got your hoodie? Yeah, it was a company called Kill Crew.
...options for protein. Fortunately, I was able to find some chicken tenders, but the ground beef I get has all been bought out. Only thing I had access to was this turkey.
Peter Thiel was there? Yeah, because Peter Thiel isn't a sexual being. Peter Thiel gets off solely on consuming the blood of fucking unchristened children.
Ground beef, which is like...
Peter Thiel is an automaton. He eats a diet of WD-40 and baby blood. That guy's not normal. He is gay cosmetically. If anything, he was designed to be gay for invulnerability to criticism once upon a time, but now that's gone.
19 grams of protein. It's only 220 calories, which is...
Listen to him wax poetic about Beelzebub or some fucking weird biblical demon. Like, the end times are coming. He talks like he's a fucking, like, Pythagoras. Pythagoras off the fucking salvia.
A lot lower than the beef I was using, but I don't know how good it's going to taste. I'm going to make my bolognese, which is something I've been eating like at night for dinner. I've been eating
A video of him stuttering when asked if the human race should endure is so funny. Isn't it insane that that's what we're using? Like, that's a sentence that we can say now in 2026 describing a technocrat who's purchased the fucking presidency. That we're like, hey, remember that time? He was like, should humans be?
Cognac noodles has been very, very good. Very like filling and hitting that spot of pasta for me.
I love that he does
eat
this.
Chipotle tonight for dinner because I was out with friends.
Chipotle's
at a
fine.
friend's house and I was kind of hungry later on into the evening. It's like midnight right now.
Isn't it worse that exact people built all of AI? Yes. Yes, this is exactly why you should be engaged and on the streets and angry.
Pretty late. Like, I'm kind of hungry. I'm not super hungry, so I might just go to bed. But I am going to make the bolognese now just so I have it.
W thinker.
And I don't have to fuss about it. And I want to show you guys, like, this is something I've been substituting with a healthy option, so...
Yes,
let's
dude.
get into it.
I love this. This is my favorite thing Zoil's done. This was literally the single greatest triumph. I have never been so swollen with pride. To see someone actually take the onus upon themselves to do the problem solving of, I crave this flavor, but I need to eat these foods in order to meet my goals and feel good. And he found a way to combine the two, which never happens. He actually has discipline and will. It's so good.
Okay.
It is so heartening to see someone actually execute on this level.
So, first of
Now let's see his knife work. It might actually, I might be eating my words in a sec. I might be like, what in the fuck are we doing?
all, it's kind of messy here from me in the morning. I'm sometimes such a bad roommate. I mean, I'd have to wipe this down again once I cook, but... Okay, so we're gonna start this by dicing this onion. I'm just gonna
His knife works great.
it and take away
Perfect grip, actually.
the skin. This might be a little bit wasteful, to be honest. But I take away like this layer, because then there's no chance of the skin being on there. I'm gonna show you guys another chud hack. I like to have a bag
Oh, no, yeah.
I can throw shit into.
Zoil, I love watching streamers learn about cooking for themselves for the first time because they're like, I got this crazy chud hack, and it's like a garbage can. So you can just throw this thing right in it. It's called the bin.
So I have to go all the way into the bin. It's lazy. I'm the chud, bro. I never claimed to be anything
This isn't lazy. This is just what people do, bro.
else. But maybe I'll change my ways. So yeah, I'm gonna get this onion diced up. After today, I'm feeling really positive, as I said before. I just realised I haven't fallen in love with weightlifting yet. And I know
He needs a bigger cutting board.
like a lot of people in the comments of lately are like, yeah, when I fell in love with weightlifting, became like such an obsession and the pounds fell off, or I'll get Instagram DMs or Twitter DMs like that. I'm so it just hasn't happened to me yet. Maybe
Zoil needs a decent knife so
it's
bad.
like seeing the gains. Maybe seeing the gains of what the gym can do for you.
Nah, it'll just come with time, man. Zoil's not gonna fall in love with the gym overnight, man. The reality is that like it's a very slow and gradual process, and no one should start with like I started lifting weights to train for like athletics when I was in high school, you know? So it was like maybe I'd train a couple days a week with weights because I was mostly in season playing. And then, you know, okay, maybe 3 days where I could push it. And then I remember when I introduced a 4th day, that was a really big deal. Over time, you acclimate yourself to training frequently.
In terms of
He cuts better than most streamers. Yes, there's actual precision here. I'm very impressed.
weightlifting. But right now I haven't fallen.
He needs a decent knife, though. This is insane. But you know what he doesn't need? He doesn't need a decent knife. He needs to learn how to sharpen a knife. That's what I've learned. Like, I actually buy cheap chef knives. Like, I buy recommended chef's knives that I can fuck up with sharpening.
in love with that. I still
Because learning to sharpen was a really big thing in my, like, cooking journey.
don't like the gym, really, is what I'm trying to say. Well, eventually I do start liking the gym because
You will.
that would make everything a lot easier, you know. Although it is important, it's not the most important thing. And my diet comes first. 270 grams of red onion.
High school power fit where we worked out in the weight room every day. That's pretty sick. How do you view calisthenics? I think calisthenics are useful if you lack access to a gym or if you just enjoy the training. The most important thing when it comes to training is just that you enjoy what you're doing. You know, something is better than nothing. I think that half measures are always acceptable over no measures, right? So like if all you have are calisthenics, I think they're great. I actually got really into fitness through implementing, I fell back in love with fitness during COVID, going to a public park and doing calisthenics. But I was very excited to get back to weights shortly thereafter. Like, I think that they are fine. You are okay to do it. I just ultimately believe that you have a lot less vertical potential with your training, like prospects and ambitions. It's a lot harder to guarantee, you know, progressive overload when you don't have, let's say, the proper, like resistance, sort of like tools, right? Be it weights, rub bands, etc. It just gets slow. I enjoy it, but I find it much more difficult to progress meaningfully through. You can get really good at calisthenics, but you're probably going to have a more difficult time adding on additional muscle mass.
What the fuck are you doing?
Well, also going nuts with volume can also compromise your joints. Like, I don't want someone to be doing like hundreds of pull-ups in a session because you're more likely to have really acute wear and tear, tendonitis, etc. Are you as big of a fan of drop sets as Canute is? Yes and no. Like, I don't think drop sets are particularly effective for eliciting muscle hypertrophy, but I think that they're fun intensifiers in the event that you want to build a pump out. Most research seems to suggest that another straight set after sufficient rest is preferable to drop sets.
Look at this chug, bro.
I like intensifiers, though. Like, I'm big into doing rest pauses. I find rest pauses to be quite good. Taking a few breaths and then returning to the movement to try to get a few more reps out, I think is a solid way to add additional resistances on a back off set.
Big fat
Look at that handsome guy.
chud. Stop being disruptive. How much is this? 270 grams of red onion. So it's saying that's about
I love this dude. He's
119 calories. Cool. We're chucking this red onion
partial reps are okay as long as you're safe with it and you've trained for some time. By the way, if you guys send something and I don't respond, you can send it again, by the way.
to start.
Like, unless it's like annoying. I'll tell you to stop sending it if I'm not responding to it intentionally. Sometimes I just miss it.
All right, next.
Plop.
I want to add probably about
By the way, I got schooled on this. Apparently, this is a traditional Italian way of making bolognese. I had no clue. W. I dunked on the carrots on stream. I was wrong.
weight in carrot.
I was like, you're putting carrots on a fucking bolognese? Didn't know.
I got 215-gram of carrot. I'm going to add all this carrot in. I'll cut to when I'm done grating this shit. Okay, gonna be
You need celery?
completely transparent. I got lazy grating the carrot. We got about 100 grams in here rather than about 200.
That's okay.
That's a lot of carrot. That's about 136 grams of carrot, which is about 30 calories. Lovely. Yeah, just gonna get
Mirepoix. Okay, dude. Mirepoix, celery, onion, and carrot. Well, yeah, that's the fucking holy triumvirate, right? That's those are the big three.
this incorporated, and then I'm gonna
I just didn't know that went into bolognese. I had no clue. I mean, I know about fucking French aromatics, bro. I'm not a total fucking chud. All right. I find drop sets super beneficial, but with rest intervals and the set rep structure, often the whole thing gets muddied in terms of defining it in terms of straight sets. To that point, your muscles don't know what reps, sets, or even pounds are. They just know mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage sustained in order of importance. Yes. So my counter to that is that it can, if you aren't diligent about tracking what it is you're doing by way of drop set, it becomes ineffective. Yo, Britta Bia, thank you so much. So I'm a big fan of ensuring that you are keeping very diligent track of progress. And so drop sets can become kind of nebulous. That's why I find rest pauses to be a bit more standardized, right? I am taking, let's say, 5 breaths or a total of like 15 seconds. I typically go by breath. I do 5 to 10 deep breaths, and then I return to the set to grind out a few more reps at the same weight. That, to me, is something that I can track much more diligently. And I only do that to my intensifiers. I try to track my progress predominantly around my top sets. So yes, of course you can continue to like break down the muscle, and I think drop sets are totally viable. They're just not my favorite intensifier in terms of maintaining consistent oversight over my progress. Kind of like a Myrup? Yeah, similar in a lot of ways.
I don't know how many yet. I have 1 or 2 cans of these tomatoes, which are about 70-ish calories. This is a big batch, okay? This is something I'm going to portion out, so I'm going to...
Like rest pauses, time-based with reverse pyramid structure. To your point, drop set sounds like a mad dash down the cable stack. Yeah, that's how a lot of like bro culture takes it. But yeah, they're not ineffective at all. What's the best way to trap calories? Any app recommendations? I've always used MyFitnessPal, but there might be better ones these days. It's just what I've always done. Roscoe! What up, P. Cole? Thank you so much, bro. Roscoe, I appreciate you, dog. Thank you for the 5 months and the big primo. You're a G.
To add...
Hey, dumb question, but will you lose weight just eating at a caloric deficit, or is there more to diet? No. I mean, it's just caloric deficit. Now, whether or not you lose the right weight is another thing, right? Like, ample protein intake, ample carbohydrate intake around training time, and proper stimulus to the muscle will help ensure that you are biasing muscle maintenance and repair, and taking energy more from fat stores rather than from the muscle that your body's utilizing. So it's very, let's say, like, there's a lot of nuance to how to lose the right weight, but if you're in a caloric deficit, you will lose weight no matter what. I mean, that's just thermodynamics. You can't beat it.
In Turkey.
And if you aren't losing weight, you're probably not in a caloric deficit. That could be due to any number of hormonal abnormalities, mind you. But yeah, if you're in a caloric deficit, you lose weight. It's pretty cut and dry.
Turkey beef or turkey mince. In the UK, we call it mince. I think you call it ground. 32 ounces, I think. It's a nice cook.
Consider being a physical therapist. They have unique ways of working out. Well, they require like a lot of additional like education, right? I'm pretty sure you need to pursue a master's at the very minimum. And not really. I think if I go back to school, it would probably be to become an educator rather than to like apply knowledge anywhere. I would rather like be, I'd rather be a college professor than anything. And not in this, I'd probably want to study. There's a dual program in psychology and philosophy at Yale that I really wanted to attend. So I'll probably still look to that.
Okay, and,
I don't know. It was at Penn.
I need to add some seasoning.
It's what I was considering applying to in 2020. I think it was in 2018 when I got back from my motorcycle trip before I kind of got caught up in other shit.
As well. Garlic powder.
And I'd probably pursue a doctorate there and then see if I can get, you know, some kind of position in academia. But I don't know. We'll see. What's a good, I mean, it doesn't mean I'll get in, but that's something I would probably want to orient myself towards. I just think that there's a really interesting intersection there in terms of like how to help consider a life well lived, or like the objective of being as per the individual, etc. And I think that those are questions that I like helping people think through. At the very least, we know that hyperpalatable foods produce a dopaminergic response, and that dopamine allows us to feel good as a reward, and oftentimes help displace feelings of discomfort that we would feel in a high stress or otherwise demanding work environment. So if you're providing a bunch of sugar and sweets to people who are in high stress environments, they're likely to overconsume. Totally get it. Keeping snacks on hand that'll keep you full, sugar-free chewing gum, maybe a diet soda or two can really help displace that craving. I use diet sodas a lot to help get over my sweet tooth, and I still stand beside it. I think it's awesome.
What I'm saying is, it's reassuring hearing that other people.
Do I time my carbs, proteins, or fats? What's your biggest guilty pleasure? Candy, probably. I mean, I eat a lot of I'll eat like Built bars. Those are kind of my thing. It's not necessarily a guilty pleasure, but I'll eat a good amount of them because I like sweets and I find them good. But it's low sugar. So no, I don't really time anything. I try to eat most of my carbohydrates around my peri-workout window, so before and after I train. And sometimes during even, but outside of that, not really. I find meal timing to be something that's very difficult with streaming. Once upon a time I did, but as of present, not really. I mostly just focus on getting my food in. Complexity AI for academic health research. It's probably good, but I kind of want to avoid using AI in general. That's something that I have, fallen victim to too many times because Google just promotes it. I wish it would stop. I miss reading articles. But then I'm like, oh, it's here. But it's not always right. So don't allow that to displace actual knowledge.
People have the same issues as me because
you
feel so alone. And
Zoil is so not alone. But before I get into Zoil here, I'm going to actually go back. One thing I wanted to... Oh, he looks so sad there. Sweet fucking prince. One thing I really wanted you to... I wanted to touch on... what was I saying? It was something... I think that a lot of people stoop to like dunking on fat people on the internet, especially because it tends to, online discourse tends to be controlled or, overrepresented by the terminally online individuals who are dealing with feelings of, let's say like dejection, alienation, etc., who are looking for ways that they can lord what they feel is a triumph over others, right? Like, okay, I have achieved something by way of not succumbing to the sort of, let's say like moral failure of overconsumption. And so it's something that's optically available to individuals who are not particularly confident in or standing beside a bevy of personal achievements or points of pride or personal, let's say like acceptance, right? They don't necessarily feel good about who it is they are and how it is they're living. And so they can look at something and say, at least I'm not that. It's a very easy thing to demonize and look down upon, and I think that it is completely devoid of empathy, right? Just because someone is obese or tends to overeat as a way of regulating their emotion doesn't mean that they're like, they could be a phenomenal father, right? They could be a phenomenal friend. They could have a bevy of different talents, interests, etc., that they are, putting that sense of willpower and drive into. So I really encourage others not to like look down on those that they see as being obese, because no person who's ever like really taken command over their personal fitness tends to, unless they're just a fucking sociopath. Anyways, back to Zoil.
Knowing that there's people out there with like similar experience to me and difficulties with health, weight loss, exercise, because I still do, but like what I'm saying is, it's reassuring hearing that other people have the same issues as me, because you feel so alone in some of these issues. For the longest time, like through the pandemic, 2022, 2023, 2024, just going through some of the worst times in my life behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard trying to be healthy while you're extremely, like, just depressed and going through it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, yeah.
And it's...
Because, like, how can you take on atop your already, like, let's say, like, struggling, like your dilapidated and depleted emotional centers and, like, that reserve that you have of, like, will to fight against despair, to then apply even like to not just like apply whatever reservoir of will you have left to taking on a personal challenge, but for that challenge to also then threaten a mechanism through which you already emotionally regulate. I mean, it makes no sense. It's so fucking hard, to to take something away while also having to, like, you know, taking something away that you also use to navigate that sort of sense of distress or despair is so difficult, you know? So I think that this is very real and something a lot of people resonate with, because typically a lot of people will feel a sense of dejection, alienation, or, like, you know, some kind of, you know, if nothing else, like disparagement, right? Because of obesity. But they typically will then eat more to help, like, balance or regulate the emotional despair that they feel on account of that obesity. So to take that away as they fight that sense of, you know, overwhelm. Also, I mean, like, you know, we also live life. People have emotions. People lose people, you know, lose their job, etc. Like, there's so much sorrow intrinsic to being. And we have so few ways to reliably sort of bolster our will to continue, that, like, to take one of those away while you're at odds with other, you know, negative stimuli is just an impossible task. So I really want to stress to everyone, especially those who are struggling, to remember that, like, reaching out to people and being open about what you're struggling with and allowing people to help you is so significant. I think it is the most meaningful thing you can do. I think it is one of the hardest things to do. And I think it's what being a true friend is. To me, I think it's very easy to be a friend to people. I think it's very hard to let people be a friend to you. One is something you're in control of. The other is a very vulnerable thing. I don't think that you're a great friend unless you can really allow people to be a friend to you. And I struggle with that a lot. So I want people to remember that to be of service to others isn't to be a great friend. Sometimes to be a great friend is to allow people to be of service to you as well. Don't forget that.
Again, it's really reassuring and lovely having people share the same experiences as me, and people around me reassuring me that I can do it in friends and family and whatnot. It's really nice having that system. And yeah, for the longest time, I thought I can do this. I couldn't diet. I couldn't lose weight. You know, I felt unloved. I felt a lot of shit, really. But I'm glad I'm in the right headspace now, and it's very possible. You just gotta push through all that nasty shit and make sure you're in the right space when you're doing it. And yeah, just it's doable. You know, I feel really great about myself, and I'm proud. I'm really proud of myself for being able to take on this journey. It's been really difficult.
Yeah.
If you're going through a similar experience of weight loss or fitness journey, you should be proud of yourself too, man.
Zoil's such a wordsmith, man. He does such a great job of, like, presenting things in plain language while also imbuing it with a lot of, like, soul and meaning. I just think he's awesome.
It's very difficult. It's all a mental battle, you know. So yeah, just thought I'd say that. It's been on my mind, you know. It smells pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna add. How do this?
Losing weight at a size, yeah, but it's so day to day, man. Zoil's very authentic as in presentation, bro. Zoil's just an authentic dude. Like, he just really is. He's just a fucking grounded, authentic ass guy.
Tomato paste and this tomato paste.
How are you planning to support Zoil when he starts to plateau? What? I mean, I constantly check in with him, man. What do you mean support him? I'm just gonna help him cut a little more food off, add a little more activity. Zoil's ready for it, man. He's already gone through a lot of the worst of it, which is just reformulating his sort of relationship to the food he consumes. Now it's just all adjustments.
30 calories per 2 tablespoons.
If you treat dieting like addiction and you just don't allow yourself to succumb to a lot of the temptation of hyperpalatable trigger foods, he'll be able to do this forever. And deal with plateaus, back to maintenance calories. Depends on how low the calories are. Adding a little bit of additional cardio. If I feel like, okay, this guy's doing like an hour of walking a day, atop of eating like fucking like 1,800 calories or something, and he's plateaued, then we'd have a totally different conversation. I'd probably take him up to maintenance, force him to eat for a few weeks at minimum, show him that his weight's not going to change, allow him to sort of build back up those like depleted glycogen stores, maybe restore a little bit of hormone health, and then we'd go back into a deficit.
Oh, instantly just
That's what I do typically with people.
Tomato come up, bro. Beautiful.
Is that the early stages? You can lose weight very quickly and it becomes addictive, which is good, but at the same time, you can start to overdo it. I think Zoil's got good support and that he'll be fine, but we'll see.
Tiny bit of water. I am going to add some Italian herbs.
Herbs?
I know this sounds insane. Tiny bit of ground cinnamon.
That's not crazy. Cinnamon's a very dynamic herb. Or spice.
This is about 2,000 calories. So if I split this into 4 even portions, it's about 500 calories.
Put on a hoodie on that at one point was very tight and I didn't feel the back of it against my own back because my chest to waist ratio had gotten smaller. That's cool as shit, man. That's cool as shit.
So
I'm happy for you, bro.
Oh, beautiful bolognese here. And I should certainly
Beautiful bolognese. The most incredible. I love how that fucking like ladle in Zoil's hand just looks like a fucking spoon.
With salt. Maggi seasoning. So like MSG and sodium.
Yeah,
Slightly
baby.
a bit of sweetness. So I'm gonna add a tiny bit of the sugar-free barbecue sauce.
Actually, adding a little bit of sweetness to a sauce that's very tomato forward is quite good.
Just missing that sweetness of a bolognese. 2 tablespoons.
Could always exceed 1,800 calories. Yeah, of course. No one's disputing that. He shouldn't. I mean, I think over time he'll probably get hungry and add some food, but we'll see.
Right there.
I think he can afford to probably add up to like 1,000 calories and still lose weight. But
10 calories. Okay, and the final calorie count is 2,007 calories. Yep, that was it. Wow.
he's getting better at cooking too. I love that. It's so fun, man. Is the Kill Crew hoodie good quality? Young LA made me question every influencer brand. I don't really see this as an influencer brand because I don't see influencers rep it. But like, yeah, man, this shit's holding up. Their washes, super comfy. Both the sweats and the sweatshirt I have. But like, I don't think it's like the best thing I've used, mind you. It's fine, but that's about it.
All right, well,
are you a fan of fasting, like intermittent? No, I think it tends to lend itself to binge eating behaviors. A lot of like restricting through critical windows, allowing yourself to get remarkably hungry, and then just kind of rubber banding into the most intense overconsumption imaginable. Especially if you're not around the perfect of foods when you're ready to eat.
What are you doing, bro? You're just
Do you
chilling.
ever look into the longevity part of dieting? I'm always asking because of the classic bro diet, low in fiber, a lot of red meat. No, I don't recommend a lot of red meat, and I do recommend a lot of fiber. I'm very anti like anecdote when it comes to that. Most research we have in terms of immediate and long-term health outcomes come from eating a diverse, very like, you know, colorful and high fiber diet, and I recommend it to most people 100%.
Yeah,
I think that eating a largely whole food diet of foods that you cook yourself is great.
I got done doing the washing up, and now I'm probably just gonna spend the rest of my night just chilling with my cat, playing Cult of the Lamb. Doesn't get much better than this, bro. It's pretty late, but I'm not really tired yet, so just gonna chill, play some games, and
Why low red meat? If it's super lean red meat, just expensive typically, but like also I think it's just a little less ecologically sustainable. Just because of how fucking calorically expensive it is to raise cattle. Just costs a lot of food. What's this? What happened, bro? What's this mystery goop? Oh, it must have been like foam. He splatted? I'm seeing splat there, man. I'm seeing splat. I'm assuming it's beer, but it looks so sticky in this context, man. Splat. Oh yeah, that's definitely just beer foam, but man. Bro's hammered. Dude, what's happening here? Can we talk about how like this feels like an AI physics defining moment here? Like, is this AI? No, okay. There's something about like the way his body is moving that just seems so weird. What? Oh, splat! Too damn bad! Should have hit it, bro. Should have hit it. We'll never forgive you.
yeah. I started to head to bed, and I realized I am really hungry. I laid in bed and my stomach started growling, and I don't want to go through that all night, so I'm going to eat food.
Good!
I've had about 1,400 calories today. Go through that all night, so I'm going to eat food. I've had about 1,400 calories today.
That's not enough. Eat food. Jesus Christ.
Which is extremely low.
Yes.
Cognac noodles.
I love that he knows that.
These are okay. Gonna drain these off
Okay is the best way to put it,
real
yeah.
quick and put them in a pan. In this shit, drain it out. once this pasta starts to dry out, it then becomes a bit nicer
Yes.
of a texture. And then I'm going to add some of the chili in there, maybe a tiny bit more.
Typical Lifter Bro ground beef and rice bowl. I've been making it with some brown sugar and soy sauce and garlic lately. I mean, I love ground beef and rice. It's delicious. I mean, I think adding some veggies to that you like is probably just good for your shits. I don't want you having like liquid marker shits that you could never wipe. Not with the force of 1,000 men and the help of 1,000 towels, you know? Barring that, I think it's fine. Just fiber's good. Also, like eating like fucking like wild blueberries that you can get at like HEB. They're frozen. They're awesome, man. Really, like they're higher fiber blueberries, rich with antioxidants, and you know, a number of essential vitamins and shit. I think they're great. Supplement wise, what are generally recommended for Zoil should look out for when going into a big caloric deficit? You should never be in such a big caloric deficit that you can't have your nutrition needs met through food. However, I think for insurance, multivitamins and things can't hurt. You know, like there's a nice like daily men's multi from like Kirkland brand that I've always used. It's fine. It's comprehensive.
Water to make it more of a meal. It should be pretty good. I'll show you that once it's done. This is the final result of the food.
I have the same problem as you where I can't stop eating nuts once I start. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of nuts for that reason.
It's a lot of food for, what is this, 510 calories or something like that.
King.
I'm going to scran on this. And,
Scran.
Yeah, call it a night. See you in the morning. Good morning, people. I didn't really sleep well last night.
Low-key, the cognac noodles he uses don't look bad. Yeah, I always get the linguine. I think it's better. 100%.
The storms and the raining and just the wind.
I'm too... No. I can't do... I pretty much don't eat a lot of vegetables that aren't frozen. My fruits and vegetables, I try to maintain as frozen because it's just so much easier to keep for long periods of time, and the texture is consistent, which I like.
And, bro, shake.
I've used nuts to replace eating sweets in the evening. I assume that's better. Okay, better in some ways. I think that it's probably better for like, you know, like your like pancreas, because you're not like having to constantly tether your blood sugar with, you know, such an intense or your blood sugar with insulin spikes. But like, I think that you can almost even more easily overeat nuts, for me at least.
In the house. It's been, I
Fruits are great. Fruits, veggies, awesome.
think.
Tomatoes and cucumber and tomatoes. Yeah, for fresh veg, I do that. They hold pretty well.
What's the day today? The 24th, and I started this journey on the 8th. So
Yeah.
it's been 2 weeks of the day. So I thought I'd weigh myself and see how much I've lost. I've only weighed myself the one time.
Good, I love this. He's not even obsessing over the weight. He's just focusing on keeping in with the food.
In the first video, and it's been 2 weeks since I started. And I just want to see where I'm at. So let's check it out.
Too much sodium equals water retention? No, too much sodium and not enough water intake equals water retention.
Scales right
Typically.
there.
They are vitamin C nuggets. I love strawberries, man. No, both. But the thing is that too much sodium is defined by what your body is routinely consuming. There are people who have virtually no water retention who eat an obscene amount of salt because they're tethering it with proper nutrition or proper hydration. Like, I don't think that you should be excessive with your salt, but what typically leads to water retention has to do with like, I mean, isn't it just a matter of like osmosis, but it's like how do you describe something that relating to osmosis? Fucking, I don't know. Yeah, it's about your balance of water and electrolytes. Too much water can be consumed opposite excess of electrolytes. You know what I mean? And vice versa. Osmotic. Thank you. Yeah. Osmotic.
I'm really happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm
Look at
getting
that.
close to
Look at the joy in his eyes. He's awakened to his own agency. He is conquering craving. He is the master of his own domain. Appetite is at his mercy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so if this scale isn't lying to me. 476.8 pounds.
Was he 488?
That is
When we
11
started?
pounds down, I believe.
Let's go,
exactly,
King.
from the first video. Wow. Holy shit, that's amazing. It's nice to see your hard work be put into digits, and I know the scale isn't everything, and actually I don't really like getting on it, because I've been treating this journey kind of like time. Regardless if you acknowledge if it's there or not, it's passing anyway, right?
True, King.
I know the process is working, I know I'm losing weight. The number doesn't really mean much right now.
Yep, absolutely, man. Focus predominantly on osmolarity, yeah. However, if your body is low sodium or water, it will work. Yeah. Over time, 100%, yes. Zoil is exactly where I've wanted every person I have ever instructed to be, which is in trusting a process of replacing foods that he would otherwise overconsume with foods he still enjoys but can eat in balanced and measured quantities. He's focusing on making those foods taste good, enjoying them, and learning that it's very difficult to overconsume the right foods, right? If it is the right, if it is the right sort of like fiber content and the right, sort of like protein density, he is going to be able to diet effectively, and I love that.
But 11 pounds in a couple of weeks.
He's actually forging a rehabilitated relationship with food and finding things that he loves, that he knows that he can eat in the quantities that his body craves. It's so nice to see.
Pretty impressive to me, so I'm very happy with that.
I'm just so happy with Zoil. He's such a fucking great fucking dude, man.
I'm very happy with that.
What a winner.
Damn. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah!
11 pounds in 2 weeks.
He's so fucking just like replete with joy.
I realized the weight that I was comparing it to was the weight when I was holding my phone. So it's more like 7 pounds. But that's still really good, and I'm still really happy with that.
Who gives a
Proud
shit?
of myself.
Yes, King.
It's like 2 p.m. and I'm making my first meal of the day, which is, again, just more the bolognese I had last night. I really love this stuff, and I could eat this 4 times a day if I really wanted, and I could still be under.
I was 340 plus. I'm 245 and have been for a few months now, but that's because I've been focusing on body recomping. Now I'm addicted to the changes I've seen. Good. A phone weighs 4 pounds. I think that it's all kind of whatever. It all depends on the amount of shit he has in his body, etc. Like, no, at the end of the day, those scales going down and he feels good and has proper energy, which is all I really care about.
Calories. So I just want to say, last night, cravings. Like, again, I got hungry and I wanted to eat. To be fair, I was really under my calorie goal yesterday, but still, eating midnight's not the best I did.
Wow, it's not even a craving. He had only ate 1,400 calories and was like, I'd like to eat more. I'm just glad that he gave himself that food.
Yeah, right, because you want to, like, sleep, and then, like, you're sleeping, so you're wasting that energy that you just ate. But I was hungry.
It's okay. No. That's not how that works. So, like, you aren't wasting. The only reason to maybe not eat right before you sleep is that, like, the process of digestion can disrupt sleep quality. But, like, your body doesn't need to immediately use the food you consume. In fact, in a lot of instances, it doesn't. A lot of times, the food you consume goes into storage as muscle glycogen, which will later, in excess, be stored as fat, right? So most of it is just replenishing muscle glycogen. You're not immediately using food. It's not that kind of a system. It's about long-term energy expenditure in contrast to consumption. So over weeks at a time, over a week, essentially, how much do you consume and how much do you move? That's going to determine the overall caloric deficit. You're not operating in terms of hours, you know?
So I ate, and, like, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of failures and there's a lot of successes that you have during weight loss. Is what I'm starting to learn is failures are fine. Just keep on the right track. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Progress isn't perfection. Just keep at it, boys. Really, that's where I'm at in my headspace right now. I'm just gonna keep pushing. Also, just wanted to say, obviously, I'm not gonna eat this 4 times a day because the nutritional value isn't there. But it's nice knowing I can eat something that I like and it's somewhat healthy. I'm gonna go for a little walk. I couldn't go yesterday because it was raining and miserable out, but because I didn't go yesterday, I feel even more inclined to go for a little walk. Unfortunately, my ride to the park where I usually walk at is sleeping at 4 p.m.
W. Rosie.
Hashtag Rosie is a chud. So I'm going to...
Deadbeat. He'll eventually need to look at his macros because eating too much or not enough of something could affect his hunger. What? And that will dictate his body composition? he's consuming enough protein. I gave him a protein target that I want him to try to hit essentially in terms of meal over meal, and he's eating enough. I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? Is that meant to be now like news to me that we need to maybe fine tune his macronutrient balance to promote certain, like, you know, let's say like ambitions he may have with personal training? No, it's just like right now he should just learn to like food that isn't fucking, you know, replete with like dog shit preservatives, sugars, fucking, you know. I want him to take that which he can cook for himself, you know, things that are generally, you know, nutrient rich and, you know, whole, and learn to love them.
To ride my bike over there in this awful weather, but yeah.
Lol, you don't know this? What don't I? Sorry, go on. I'm in no way, shape, or form a perfect like conduit for knowledge here, but like I'm confused at what your problem is with my platforming of this. Like I would like to understand it better so I could either address it or change my position.
That's fine. We can get there. Even in this utter freezing cold, this bike...
Is rage bait? Probably not. He's a long-term chatter. Get a food sensitivity test? No, and those aren't particularly reliable. The only great food sensitivity test there is to either, you know, stop eating something and see if you feel better, and then reintroduce it and see if you feel worse. That's really it. No, you're great. Just little things. Okay, go on.
It's my favorite way to get around. I love it so much. My hands are fucking icicles.
Bro is tanking this for no reason.
Back, I can't feel my fingers. This is awful. This weather is fucking shit.
Oh, you think he has an e-bike?
My God, my hands. Yeah, this is a terrible idea. I literally have frost on my jacket and my hands.
Yeah, bro tanked this for no fucking reason. My God,
so
Bubba.
Red. Okay. I'm gonna hit 30.
Prioritizing complex carbs like whole grains during the day will also help keep him satiated. Yeah, but like I've already given him that. It's part of why he's not eating rice and he's eating potato. It's a much more fibrous and complex starch for him to consume. A lot of which he's even allowing to become a resistant one. Like these are all things that have been accounted for. Like nothing, like not to say that like I'm like bothered by it. It's just like, yeah, man, like he's having a high fiber, high protein diet with the express intent of making it so that satiety is met.
3 minutes of walking on my normal route that I...
Still easy to digest or digest fast? Oh, Bubba.
do here at this little park. See,
His diet is predominantly like cooked and cooled potatoes, fucking chicken, fucking veggies and fruits, man. I don't even understand it. Like, what do you... Now, sweet potatoes would take longer? Okay.
It's gonna do a big loop. It takes about 25-30 minutes. I'm hoping I get out of it.
Due to higher fiber content, let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see. Sweet potato, 100 grams raw nutrition. So in that, we're going to have a roughly 3 grams fiber. Not necessarily super significant, but not that bad. Go ahead and say like russet potato. Probably going to be comparable. Fiber 2 grams. Yeah. All right. At a certain point, are we going to acknowledge that we just want to talk?
So cold, but I just feel like I need to get some walking in.
like the reality is that like he can have whole grain if he wants to have whole grain. I'm leaning him towards consuming higher fiber foods in general, more plants, you know, where can he add some veggies? Where can he add some fruits? But right now, can he just enjoy the diet? Is he having trouble with hunger? That's my concern. So like in terms of macronutrient profile, I want him to prioritize protein because protein is the highest satiety macronutrient. Fats are obviously consumed to ensure that he maintains a proper hormone profile. But like when it comes to carbohydrates, I like to use them predominantly for fueling performance in peri-workout contexts, because I think that that's probably when they're most effective. And that's for especially like, simpler, more easy to digest carbohydrates. Outside of that, if he wants to have some potato, if he wants to eat something that is considered more of a whole grain, he can. But in terms of like speed something takes to digest, I think that a resistant starch, vegetables, etc., are completely sufficient.
So I'm going to do that now.
And he is being given not just like the proper instruction, but Zoil, I think, is also smart enough to kind of like intuit that, which he already is.
Oh, and yeah.
Look at him, man, tanking the fucking cold to get some steps in, doing it out in nature. I love that. Yeah, no, I understand it. Sometimes I think I get a little frustrated because I'm like, dog, like, this dude is completely reinventing his relationship to food. And like, yeah, of course you can give him a more fine-tuned macronutrient profile. I just think it's like kind of a pointless thing to add to this. You know what I mean? Like, I take it as like being really similar to like if you're teaching someone how to play Counter-Strike and they're like learning how to like, you know, like do some basics, you know, good crosshair placement, checking corners, and you're like, dude, you're going to have to teach him pop flashes eventually. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, eventually he's going to need to learn a pop flash, but like it's completely irrelevant right now. Like to even bring it up is like, I just kind of want to add, and maybe I should be like kind because maybe you just want to add like, hey, I'm also thinking about this and I'm being a dick. I'm sorry. I think you're right. It's okay to want to participate and add like, hey, we should also think about that.
I know I've been repeating myself a lot during this video. I know this channel didn't set up for like, it's not philosophy, you know what I mean? But I
think I have my defenses up because I'm talking about dietary protocol that I've like helped someone with. So I'm like, yeah, fucking no. But it's not necessary. I get that you just want to participate.
I like sharing how
and yes, eventually you'll have to add it.
I'm feeling in a moment, you know what I mean? Like for the first time, and I know it's very early days, I see the thread. Just these indicators of
imagine him being a tall, lanky cunt at the end of this. I mean, I'll just imagine him a little skinnier. Imagine that tall, lanky fucking cunt in there at the end of this. Fucking imagine that and fucking.
See where I'm going.
I'll just imagine him thin, but yeah. Fucking tall, lanky, fucking real reachy cunt. Looking like a fucking Enderman in here.
With this diet
fucking
and exercise and it's all so simple.
Please no Greek 2.0. No, because he's not like an... Zoil is a truly like... I think that people projecting that into Zoil should like kind of like... I think that you should focus on self-sucking. Like, and I mean that as in like, as a way to keep your hands off the keyboard and just really commit to a task, because I think that there's more of a telltale sign of someone like Greek doing things for, you know, attention or triumph, and someone like Zoilo, I think it's just been like so consistently earnest and sweet. I don't know a lot about Greek, mind you, but I think that if I were to look back, I'd see that the signs were probably there. And moreover, that losing weight probably isn't what led Greek to be in the position that he found his way into. If anything, I'm more willing to bet that it had to do with arriving at his mid-20s, certain, let's say, personality disorders materializing more clearly is a lot. It happens for, I mean, like, it seemed more like it might have like a manic depressive, maybe like BPD, like type, I don't know if these are type 2 person, I don't know what it is. Cluster B, is that what it is? Because of his like kind of like manic breakdowns and like very like flagrant sort of lash outs against people. I think that Zoil is a very emotionally stable and sweet person who's been so like consistent in his presentation to people. But maybe I'm wrong.
On paper.
Everyone has such capacity? Not really.
Right, like it's just eat less.
I could be wrong though, but like, because I wasn't watching Twitch back then, but like, I just feel like a lot of what Greek went on to do felt like it had more to do with a personality disorder than losing weight.
Move more. It really is that simple.
But also, yeah, fucking 7 foot tall Giga Chad Zoil just bullying motherfuckers and fucking chivalry online. Playing Wizard 101, talking shit in chat. Doing whatever fucking dumb variety game he is, but he's now an asshole. Zoil and Club Penguin cyberbullying motherfuckers.
I'm seeing it now, you know? Like,
Zoil will bring basketball back to England.
I'm in a...
I like that because, like, it sounds like you're saying that it was there at one point.
I'm at a point where I'm really dedicated to...
I mean, Alex English was a good basketball player, you know? Denver Nuggets star back in the 80s.
Making this work, and I really want
But he wasn't English.
to see this work, and so I'm putting my all into it. And for the first time, I just see that. I see that string, I see that array, and I see where I'm going to end up.
Sorry, I'm missing so much good
But
shit.
I just feel like I need to get some walking in. So I'm going to do that now.
Zoil and I are going to try to go to a furry con, I think, soon. One's in chat if you'd let Zoil Rug pull you.
I know I've been repeating myself a lot during this video. I know this channel didn't sign up for, like, it's not philosophy, you know what I mean? But
No, it's you, Zoil. You get to share what you want to
how I'm
share.
feeling in a moment, you know what I mean? Like, for the first time, and I know it's very early days, I see the thread. Just these indicators of seeing where I'm going with this diet and the exercise, and it's all so simple on paper, right?
I don't think a lot of people realize just how much someone is compromising when they take what has probably been their primary sort of like locus of emotional regulation and threaten it. It's something that panics people. When you go at an addiction, like, have you ever had to like stage an intervention for someone? If you haven't, you might not know it, but like, it is so threatening, in that people are aware that like their entire sense of emotional regulation and stability hinges on their access to that sort of stimulus. And so to take that away and to do it with such like courage and public sort of receptivity and openness is so admirable, man. And I'm just so proud of the dude.
Like, it's just eat less, move more. It really is that simple. I'm saying it now, you know. Like, I'm in a point where I'm really dedicated to making this work, and I really want to see this work. And so I'm putting my all into it.
Nothing's weighing in probably once a week. I think he waited 2 weeks to weigh in this time, which I'm happy with. That's about the frequency I would recommend.
And for the first time, I just see that. I see that string, I see that array, and I see where I'm going to end up. And I see myself ending up a lot happier and a lot healthier. So I'm just going to continue pushing. That's about it, really.
I fucking love this guy, dude.
It's so cold out here that this is a pickleball court, and a lot of times the players leave their stuff here. This stuff is frozen to the table. That's some of the clearest ice I've ever seen. But this is just all frozen to the table, and bro, it's so cold out here. It is freezing. I've arrived back at my humble steed.
Your gallant steed. That's not humble.
That was a nice little walk, actually. I'm going to end this video.
Texans getting used to winter. Yeah, bro, we don't have any fucking infrastructure for it. We don't have anything plowing. There's no fucking salt on the roads. No one has an all-wheel drive vehicle. What the fuck do you think happens? Jesus Christ. Watch it hit a fucking 120 with a heat index in your fucking Nordic town, and your entire town melt into a puddle like Frosty the Snowman in the green room. Also, Aura. Way to go, Zoil.
See you here. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Again, very raw cut stuff. I appreciate you all. Love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. This ice cream is fucking delicious, by the way.
It is. I really recommend everyone make some protein ice cream. It's such a fucking dub.